How you doing, Jenny? How you doing?
Hello, Michael. I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Hanging in there. It's all we can do.
Yeah, I'll bet you're pretty busy.
I am. I am. You ready for today?
I think so.
Okay.
It's just going to be me. There was not an availability of any of the architects. So, I think I might have misunderstood something you said before. I didn't know the meeting was going to be today until you sent out the notice on Monday.
Um,
So,
okay.
so, so they weren't available, but I think it's pretty simple.
I
So,
think so.
I hope so.
When it is
I
time for your this thing, I'll just make you share your screen. You just go through your plans and explain to the subcommittee what you are proposing to do. And that would be it.
Okay,
It's just,
yeah.
it's very straightforward.
And I
It,
don't need to I don't need to explain all the stuff about
nah,
you know, uh,
what
the
stuff are you talking about?
aerials or that kind of stuff. I'm
Nah,
talking
just
about how submitting an aerial map and
no, 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 no,
that's
no.
that's what I
Just
was
you're just talking about the project. We're
that's
here
what I
just yeah. You were just talking about the project. We're trying to restore this tower.
Good morning,
Uh,
everyone. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Terry.
Good
Can you hear
afternoon.
me?
Yes,
Yes.
Terry.
Oh, you can hear me. Oh, hi. Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Good.
we can hear you. So, Jenny, what it is you are just going to just describe your project, tell the subcommittee what is
Stop
it
it.
that you're proposing to do, walk them through the various aspects of the project. Here we're repairing this, we're replacing this, we're doing that. Just straight to what the project is. The rest of those area photos and the stuff that you submitted, they already have it. So just stick to project.
Fabulous. That's what I'm expecting to do. So that works.
Yeah, and just also just tell them what is it that you're requesting from them. So,
Right.
I'll be right back.
hey Charles, good afternoon.
Good day.
Hi.
Going.
Hi, Charles.
Hey, Jenny. Funny seeing you here.
Yeah, really.
Uh, yeah, how's it been going?
Pretty well. We've got the Enchanted Garden restoration done, and we're now working on the repairing the Wizard's Tower. So we're moving along.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. We're pretty excited. We've been made an affiliate member of Historic Homes and Artists Studios for National Trust recently.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, that was a big it is a big deal. So we're really pleased.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm,
So
I'm glad to
things
hear
are
things are moving forward for sure. It's such a
yeah.
special location.
Thank you.
So, excuse me, Michael. I see Joel and I are on, but I don't see other folks. Are you?
Not yet. They're not yet here.
Okay, let me.
We're expecting a full house. I think Savannah will get here after the early hour. She will need to recuse. At the last meeting, everybody said they would be here.
Right. Okay, so which case Savannah doesn't have to, she does have to, because you're on, Charles, right?
Yes, she does. She does have to recuse for the first case.
First case. Okay.
I think that's what we agreed on. That we put that one first, so she can
Yeah.
do the
Oh,
LARO.
there she is,
There she is.
but she needs to get on in order to
Yeah,
view it.
she needs to get on for the LA
Right,
section of it, and then thereafter she will recuse, and then as soon as we finish the case, she will come back on.
all right. And Savannah, can you give me your cell again so I can text you? I'm sorry. She there?
She's on mute.
I can call her when I'm done too.
Oh,
If,
that's true. That would be good.
yeah,
Okay, I'm trying to find Andrew's. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna text him. He must be getting on. Don't see him yet.
I'm here now.
Uh,
Thanks.
Hey, Michael and Terry, I'm here.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. So I guess we're ready to go and we're already recording, correct?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Tucson Pima County Historical Commission Plans Review Subcommittee meeting of Thursday, March 27th, 2025, called to order at 1:02 p.m. And I will go ahead and do roll call. Terry Majewski is here. Savannah McDonald,
Here.
Joel Ireland,
Here.
and Andrew Christopher.
Here.
Great, thank you. We have a quorum. Item 2 is review and approval of the March 13th, 2025 legal action report and meeting minutes. Could I have a motion to approve as submitted, please?
This is Joel. I'll move it. Yes, I move it.
Who will second?
I'll second, Savannah.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Okay, if not, I'll call roll. Terry votes aye. Joel?
Yes.
Savannah?
Aye.
And Andrew? Andrew? Andrew, you're on mute. Did he respond? No, I didn't. Andrew?
Yeah, sorry, I'm having major technical issues here, but yes.
Okay. Yeah, I had some weird feedback myself. So anyway, thank you. The motion passes 4-0. Item 3 is historic preservation zone review cases that we review under UDC section 5.8/TSM 9-02.0/historic district design guidelines and the revised Secretary of the Interior standards and guidelines. Before we begin with case 3A, I'd like to welcome the city's new historic preservation officer, Desiree Aranda. Hello, Desiree.
Hello, thank you so much. It's great to be here and great to meet all of you. And I really look forward to getting to know you and working with you.
Yes, equally, we feel the same way. Thank you. So case 3A, I'll read that. Savannah, would you like to just go ahead and say you're recusing from case 3A right now?
I am recusing from case 3A right now.
And I've got it at 1:04 p.m. and Charles will let you know when he is done, and then we'll welcome you back.
Thank you. Sounds good. See you then.
Thanks for being on until now. Thank you. Okay, case 3A is TC-COM-0225-00389 at 325 West 2nd Street. This is for Dunbar Building 1 renovations, repair to a few windows, replacement of one exterior door, tuck pointing of a masonry crack at the exterior, installation of helical piers to stabilize differential settlement at the northeast corner, and modification of plus or minus 100 square feet of paving to improve access. This is a full review in the John Spring National Historic District, It's a CIP and HCD project as well. It's an individually listed resource, and we use the rehabilitation standards. Michael, do you want to give us some background, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. If the subcommittee can record that this particular building has been reviewed 2 times. There was an emergency review as a courtesy by PRS for the roof repair.
Yes.
And Charles also came before you for some stucco that was cracked and they needed that repair. So this is the 3rd time that they are coming before you, specifically for the items that are listed on the agenda. So I will just turn it over to Charles to continue the presentation.
Very good. Thank you. Go ahead, Charles.
Okay, great. I am unable to share at this time.
Oh, sorry, Charles. Let me make you the co-host.
Thank you very much.
Hey, real quick, Terry or anyone else, are you guys having issues downloading the documents from the link?
Yeah, they're not great. I wasn't
I
able
did.
to.
Oh,
I
okay.
had trouble.
It's prompting me to sign into Microsoft through like the city of Tucson. So I don't know what the issue is, but I can't access any of the documents.
Andrew, that happened to me too, this Joel, yeah.
I will take a note of that and let our website team be aware of that. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Is that happening for everybody?
I think it's set up incorrectly instead of allowing us guest access like we usually have.
Okay. Let me just go and talk to somebody very quick.
Okay. Should I proceed or hold?
What do you say, subcommittee?
I think we can proceed just
I
with what's
think
on
so
the
too.
screen. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we're very
Charles,
familiar
you
with
can
this.
proceed. Let me talk to somebody. You can continue with your presentation.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for taking the time to review our project today. Great to see you all as ever. As was mentioned previously, we are here again for the Dunbar Pavilion building, formerly known as the John Spring building. So on this map here, we are looking at the western of the 2 buildings that are colloquially called the Dunbar Pavilion here, sometimes also as Building 1. For a little bit of background information, this project has HUD funding and is managed through the city HCD department. And Catherine is here as well today, representing that group. She's the project manager with HCD.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you.
Hello.
And so another item which is just worthy of note here is that the county does hold a conservation easement on the facade of this building related to bond funding from a project many years ago. We have been in communication with Ian and Scott with the county, and they are approving of the documentation that you are going to see here today. So I'll go ahead and get moving. So as stated, the building is individually listed as part of the John Spring neighborhood. This is just a snippet of the inventory form and taking a note that we are talking about the western portion of the building, the John Spring building. As far as neighborhood context is concerned, this is a school building in a predominantly residential neighborhood. The context surrounding the project is primarily residential homes. I don't know if there's necessarily too much to say about that, and I think I'll probably hit all the topics of this design narrative as I move through this set of documents. This was more or less for the at-home version of this to review in advance. So here is a partial floor plan of the building, and we can see the 2 areas of work that we have. This is primarily an interior project, And what we will be focusing on are these two areas, which I'll get into in greater depth in a moment. But the southeast corner that you can see here is being converted into a business center, which by the owner will be used as sort of like a for lease officing and mail center, conference center for folks who want to pay monthly to use this sort of on and off, not dissimilar to other sort of itinerant officing concepts that exist around the city. The larger building, just for a little bit of reference, is subdivided into a number of tenant spaces currently. There have been dance schools, barber colleges. There's a variety of different tenants now. And then what's cut off from this view is the large auditorium space to the far west. But none of that is relevant to that. This is really a tenant space connected with its own entrance that we'll talk about here in a moment. So I'll dive in on that a little bit more later. But there's a second piece of work that we are dealing with here, which is in the course of the investigation work for this project, we have identified, not for the first time, that there are differential settlement issues with this building. This time now on the northeast corner, having previously done essentially the same proposed fixed strategy that we are going to look at today. We have formally done that at this corner and this corner over here. Actually, it is a common problem out on this site. And so this is the northeastern entry to the building and stair that heads up to level 2 where the IDEA School currently operates. But this is really exclusively structural repair that we'll again talk about. So that's sort of an overview of the two scope areas that we'll be talking about. I'll actually jump ahead to our photos. So this corner that you see over here on the left is the exterior southeastern corner of the building. And this here is sort of a zoomed in on the area where we are doing the majority of our exterior work, just for context. And then at the interior of the building, the business center is primarily being constructed in the former locker rooms, which served the high school when it had that functionality. And so this portion of the building has never been renovated since its original school use. And it is definitely time, but you can see that there are existing finishes remaining and that it is still configured as a locker area. Excuse me. So now over to the portion of the building that is experiencing the structural issue. This ties into the review that we did previously, which I can actually zoom down to, sort of to jog some memories on this. So a few months ago, we met here and looked at the abatement of lead for the exterior of the building. I can say that that work is ongoing, and so this is what was presented at the time. And so we elected to remove all of the lead-based paint as well as sort of the top strata of stucco. And so this is what we presented at the time, and you can see here that that removal work has actually already taken place. And so this has been sandblasted down to remove every little bit of paint. And now we are just left with the stucco. And as we agreed sort of at the previous time that we met, we're going to install stucco that's going to match the original over this whole area. But this is also the location where the differential settlement is occurring. And you can see here the cracking that sort of gave that away there at the exterior. But I will say that from an aesthetic point of view, this work will already be repaired as far as the stucco as part of that previous project. And so that's already going to get restuccoed. The crack is going to get patched as part of that other work. And so what we're looking at here today does have a little bit of an additional exterior component, which I will show in the next slide. but there's also interior work. You can see here that there is delamination of stucco related to cracking, and then cracking at several locations throughout the stair, particularly sort of the somewhat worrisome ones here near the intermediate landing that we can see here. So from an exterior standpoint, how this is going to manifest is going to be with the installation of helical piers, which, if you are not familiar, is essentially a giant screw that goes down into the ground that can reinforce the existing footings. And so it'll have a jack that will connect up to the existing footings that will prevent that from continuing to settle any more than it already has. And I have highlighted here all of the locations where those will be installed here along the perimeter. And in some instances, there is, let me see if I can actually spot it in one of these images here. So for the most part, those are occurring. You can just barely see it right here. I apologize, I don't have that image. For the most part, that's occurring in landscaped areas. And where that is not the case, we'll be replacing the paving in kind here at the perimeter of the work where we are providing those helical piers. Okay. So then from an exterior work standpoint, now focusing back over to the work for the business center, I've highlighted here all of the work that will be done to the exterior of the building. And this really, other than the crack repair that will be happening here, which will be sort of a stock standard tuck point routine, where we're also going to remove chipped and cracked brick and replace that. So that's one aspect of our scope. But then the other part that we're going to look at here is that we need to provide accessible access to this new tenant space, which is at this door here. And unfortunately, the way that the site was graded previously, the grade and paving falls away from the door by that point. And so we're able to install a sloped walk that does not require any handrails or guards, other than this is sort of diagrammatic. It will have a wheel stop for just to prevent wheelchairs from sort of going over the edge along the perimeter here. But this is really the only extent of paving that we will be talking about, which is to install this level paving effectively to make a connection into the building here. There are a few instances sort of within our area of work where we'll be just removing paint that has been applied to over the brick at some point in the building's history. This door, I believe I listed as replacement. Hopefully we will rehabilitate this door, but if not, it will be replaced in kind. It is the tenant space is small enough that it does not require 2 exits, and so we do not need to reverse the swing of the door. The existing windows here, some of them are broken out. Those will be reglazed to match the existing condition using period appropriate reglazing techniques, putty in this case, for the steel sash windows that have been broken. There is some damage at this now defunct air louver, and so we're going to rehabilitate this, installing this missing screen element, sort of bending these back into a straight line, and then repainting this element. And then at the cover here, we'll be stripping the paint and optimally leaving it in a concrete condition, but sort of as a fallback position, painting it a concrete color, sort of depending on the condition there. And we'll be required to install suite signage at this element as well. So that's our exterior scope of work. On the interior, just a little bit more of a friendly, call it a dollhouse view here, where you can see here is our new entry walk and door. And that opens up into a small open office area that then itself opens up into this co-working zone where we have several small offices, 1, 2, potentially a recording area for podcasts or other media. and then sort of a mid-size office. And then we are taking the existing walls of this group shower here, which is a masonry wall with tile, and we will be converting that into a conference center, a conference room via enclosure of glass. And so I'll pop back over briefly to the current appearance of that element. And so this is what you see, that we're going to obviously clean all this off and glaze in sort of above here to make this into what we hope will be a pretty cool little conference center, making sort of the best use of the existing tile where it exists, and a little bit of an homage to the original use of this space. And then here sort of is that view of that element and this small business center. And I think that that's really the long and short of it. I'm happy to take any and all questions or concerns.
Well, thank you, Charles. We'll go ahead and
Oh, Terry, I think you might have gone on mute mid-sentence, possibly.
oh, I don't know what happened with that. Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah. Joel or Andrew, who would like to begin with questions?
Well, I have a general one first. Are we only commenting on the exterior repairs? I mean, we went through a lot of interior material, which was a good presentation, but are we just looking at the basically the stabilization outside and their can you narrow
Yes,
that
Joel.
question for me, Terry?
Yes, Joel, just the items that are listed on the agenda, but Charles was giving us context for sort of the adaptive reuse of this building and why some of the changes. I mean, they're not, the changes that are proposed aren't really tied in so much to the interior changes. Would you say, Charles?
Right.
I got you. Okay, I thought I was clear on that, but I just wanted to make
That's
sure.
okay.
Good.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Any
now
other
go.
questions? Or Andrew, do you want to begin?
Joel, you just went on to mute also if you were continuing.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I apologize. I just hit the mute button too quick. There you go.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I only have really two questions. On the suite number on the outside, is there other signage like that on the building, or would you possibly consider doing like a I'm wondering if any of the other glass doors have like the hand painted room numbers or anything that might be more appropriate on that door.
Yeah, I think we would be happy to do that. I think I was more or less responding to this existing element here, and I think that there is a desire for individuals to be able to identify the location of this. Figuring out which door to go in at this building, I think, is a perennial problem. It has about 3 entrances on each side. And it's always a confusion. So that was a part of it. But yeah, I think we would definitely be willing to entertain a painted sign on the door.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. But I see the precedent here for what you've proposed, so that's all good. On that concrete canopy that's above the door, there's a note to strip the paint and then repaint it concrete color. Is there a reason you wouldn't just like seal it and leave it as exposed concrete?
I would be happy for sure to do that. I think the reason that we're calling out for paint is that it does appear to have some sort of prominent patches, concrete patching on it, which sometimes just ends up not looking too good when sealed.
Yeah.
I think it would be my preference to, and my goal would be that we would first strip this, review it, and then I don't think we even necessarily need to seal it. We could just leave it in that condition prior to painting, if that is acceptable.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be great. I mean, who knows how patched it is and what it looks like when you get the paint off. So
yeah,
I just know we have the exposed concrete on, you know, that like bond beam above it and everything. So it'd be kind of cool to expose it if we could.
Agreed. Yes.
That's really all I had. Everything else looks good to me.
Thank you.
Okay, Joel, do you have anything else? If not, I'm good.
No, I'm
Um,
good. Yep.
So Andrew, would you be willing to go ahead and make a motion, or one of you?
Yeah, I can make it. All right, let me pull up. Okay. All right, on the matter of TC COM 0225000389 at 325 West 2nd Street, I move to recommend approval of the project as presented.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there further discussion?
Nope.
Okay, then I will go ahead and call roll. Terry says aye. Joel?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes 3-0 with Commissioner McDonald recusing.
Thank you guys
Okay.
very much. Appreciate your insight on this and your time as always.
Well, thanks, and thanks. It looks like a good project, and thanks for the concise discussion. If you could go ahead and let Savannah know we're ready for her, we'll wait for her to come back on.
I will give her a call right now.
Okay, thank you, Charles. See you
Thank
again
you.
soon, I'm sure.
Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee, are you able to download now? Dan was working on the website, so.
Andrew can maybe test it. I hesitate to get off and lose my screen, so.
The
No.
links, no, I'm still having the same issue with the links. But Dan sent all the files in the chat, so I've just
Okay.
downloaded them from there.
Okay.
Very good. All right, Savannah's coming back on. She'll let us know when she's on. And then we can continue.
So Jenny, you'll be next, so I will make you a co-host here. Maybe
Yeah, let's just wait. We need to wait for Savannah.
I did get in contact with her. She should be on here momentarily. And there it is.
Okay, thank you so much, Charles. And hello, Savannah. I've got you returning at 1:27. Okay, we'll go ahead then and get started with item 3B, which is SD 0325-00034 at 2544 East Allen Road. This is repairs on the historic landmarks Wizard Tower, a garden structure with 2 rooms. Full review, Valley of the Moon Historic District. It's a historic landmark, a contributing resource, rehabilitation standards are applied. And Michael, do we have any background in this case?
Yeah, like I said, Madam Chair. Yeah, this is a project. The Valley of the Moon is one of the first historic landmark of the city of Tucson. So the review today, you are reviewing it for compatibility with the surrounding neighborhood. It has come before this subcommittee on several occasions, some of them as a minor review, some as a full review. So it's a tower that needs a little bit of repairs, and Jenny is here to tell you what kind of repair is it that she is asking you to give you approval for. If there's any specific question, then I can answer. It does not have, because it is a historic landmark, there is no advisory board involved here. So it comes straight to the plans review subcommittee.
Great, thank you, Michael. Welcome, Jenny. Go ahead with your presentation. Michael, did you make her a co-host?
She's a co-host right now.
I am. I'm
Yes.
not seeing where I can share that. Let
There
me see.
should be a little green box with an up arrow, either at the bottom or the top of your screen somewhere.
I'm sorry. Yes, it's not where I was familiar. It
Yeah,
says
it
host
changes up.
disabled. It says host disabled participants screen sharing.
I thought I made you a co-host. Hold on.
Try that again.
I was making a different
There we go.
person. I was making a different person thinking that it was you. Sorry. You should be good now, Jenny.
All
Coming
righty,
up.
can you see it?
It
It's
says,
coming along.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay,
There we
very
go.
good.
Okay. Go ahead and just tell us about the project.
All righty, Valley of the Moon basically is an artist-built environment. And so this is not actually a building, it's more a garden feature, but it is 2 stories tall. And historically, the Wizard's Tower is meant as a place for a mythical wizard to live. And we used to have a wind-up phonograph put in the second floor to broadcast music out to the guests and whatnot. So it's a whimsical structure, and it is probably built around 1925, and it is in desperate need of some repairs. This is the front side of it, and let me see if I can just curl this down. Yeah, that's not getting me what I want. Sorry, this is the back side. Here we're doing repairs in a number of places. The first is the second floor, which is actually what we have funded. What we need to do on the second floor is to go ahead and to stabilize that second floor. It actually is, even though it looks pretty decrepit, it's actually a little more secure than you would think. I'm going past this confusing slide. This is what the inside of the ceiling of this first floor looks like. And so you can see it's made out of a hodgepodge of recycled material. And the first repair that we want to do is to go ahead and reinforce that metal ceiling that's up here. These are 2 plates of metal that are basically laced together with wire. It's actually very sturdy. We had part of our design team up there, 2 people up there inside the second floor. But what we're wanting to do is put some steel angle up there to go ahead and have that floor rest on steel rather than having it just laced with the wire. We're also going to be putting in some mortar and some straps to be able to hold everything together, and let's hopefully that will be clear. You have these pictures in your package if you care to see the actual design of how the uh, different straps, etc., are going to be attached. There is another picture. We're going to be removing basically abandoned materials that have been added over the years. There's some electrical stuff was placed in there probably in the 40s. We're going to be cleaning that up where we have abandoned material. Some of this is kind of interesting what it does contain. You can barely see it in this picture, but there is pieces of a chair leg that was used to make this structure. So we're not removing any of the historic material. We've come up with a really good design with the architecture company. Keegan Tom is heading this up, and Faye Tom has been involved. And also we have a structural engineer that has worked at Valley of the Moon before, Steve Hess. He's been involved to design this. So we really believe we have some good plans on how to preserve this building the best we can, make the repairs we can without any major changes to the appearance of the building. This is inside the roof. You can see that there is thin shell concrete above these wooden poles, wooden beams that are right now in John Luke's hand. And the idea behind the repair of the ceiling of the roof on the second floor is that we would put a piece of tin above where that protruding beam is. The beam has to be cut back a little bit so that it won't be sticking out of the roof anymore. We'll put the tin over it, and that will make the roof dry, basically, when we get all of the details done. There's going to be other wood that needs to be sistered, and we do intend to attach some steel in this area, and some wood to basically reinforce what is up there. You can see that we have a combination of the thin shell concrete, and we also have the corrugated metal that is all over Valley of the Moon. Here you can see actually this picture shows pretty the extent of the damage to the roof. We have this huge hole right now that we do need to cover up. And again, we're talking about sistering wood to the existing wood. So that's pretty much the second tower, the second floor, and first floor ceiling is the same thing as the second floor floor. Those repairs. We also have a rock wall to the east of the Wizard Tower that we're going to be stabilizing. It's basically it has a concrete base, and this is a picture for that. It has a concrete base, and on top of that is a rock wall. Over the years, it's deteriorated. Pieces of the concrete base have basically eroded away. The area is used quite a bit for our actors use this as a set for their plays, and it's become a safety hazard because the slope and the stairs have basically eroded away. We also have had one rock fall out of our rock wall, and so we know we need to repoint the concrete and to make sure that that rock wall doesn't start falling down en masse. This is probably the biggest area that the public will see is that we are going to be pouring some new concrete to patch this up. We are going to take the concrete up to where that green line is. So it will be about 8 inches or so taller than it was before. However, it follows the line of the concrete wall that's actually facing from the other side. So it probably won't be very visible. It will add stability to that section so that it doesn't fall down. We're going to make sure that that we have it compatible with that area, but not exactly the same. So you will be able to tell what is the new material versus the old, but it shouldn't be too shocking. There will be epoxy dowels put in there and rebar for strength in that area. We also have let's get through here. Now, I'm sorry, I thought I had one more picture. On the other side of this, you can see that there's shrubberies that are coming up near this building. We have a section that's about a foot wide on the other side of this wall. And what we want to do is to take out the tree stumps that we've taken out of there, that the volunteer trees have, the roots have provided some risk to the structure because it has accelerated cracking. So what we want to do is that basically 1 foot dirt strip that we have between the two pieces of concrete. We want to go ahead and fill that with concrete and slope it so the water goes away from that area rather than allow just stray pieces of, vegetation to grow in there. We believe that the reason why that there's two pieces to this wall, front and back, is just because it was for the economic impact of getting concrete in the 1920s. It was gotten by writing to the Sears and Roebuck catalog and delivered by train. And the founder was not very wealthy, so he amended it as much as he could. So we believe that the extra piece of dirt that's between those two, between the two walls and the stairs on the other side, is simply because to try to save money. Um, is there a question about that piece? I can go back to the main picture to show you what that looks like, if you care to.
Yes,
No,
did
I'm
you do
good.
that?
Go ahead.
I can. This is an awkward navigation. I didn't want to take you through scrolling unless somebody was really interested in it.
And I'm going to want to see, I wonder if you have a picture that shows us the outside of the roof, like from a top down view or something like that.
Well, we don't have exactly a top-down view. This is LiDAR. And so this does show the roof here.
It's what? What'd you say?
LiDAR
LiDAR.
is a technique of recording.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's imaging. So what it does is it shoots out lasers that as they bounce back, it gives you an exact replica of what the building is. And so it can tell you things like how deep how many inches the structure is. You can see some variance in it. And so it's a mathematical thing rather than true imaging. So sometimes it looks a little funky when it's presented as an image, which is what you're seeing here. Here is
Seems like wizardry to me. I don't know. Good deal.
It is. It's modern wizard. But this is a picture of the roof. And over here is where we have that rock wall, right? And can you see the little pointer? Oops, it's giving me a black bar on my screen. Right in here. I don't know if you're seeing that or if I'm just putting a black box there unnecessarily. Can you see the little pointer? A white cross?
No, I can't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. If you look at the two-story structure,
Yes.
and then you look to the left, there's the rock wall. In front of the rock wall are stairs. Those are called the magic stairs. Those stairs
Okay.
are tilted so that when you're going up, you feel like you're going down. And when you're going down, you feel like you're going up. And if there's a horizontal line there, that is actually a little strip of dirt in there. So between the rock wall in the back and the rock wall in the front, there's a place where plants can grow. And that's what we're going to be adding some dirt, some concrete in there instead of just having it be dirt, so that will not allow the new growth to happen, and will also channel the rain away from going between the wall to the outside of the wall. Hopefully that makes sense.
It does.
Okay.
Joel, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is a small structure too. I mean, it's maybe 8 feet across max if you laid down on the second floor. It's a little box up there.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
the scale of this is pretty low.
Yeah.
The other repairs that we intend to do is that we have thin shell concrete that needs to be repaired. We just need to patch that. It'll take a skilled mason, but we're not planning to take anything away. Here's the thin shell concrete. This is looking at it, looking up from inside the Wizard's Tower. And you can see that the concrete is showing daylight through a lot of it. At the base of this thin shell concrete, here's the view of it from the outside. There's been some erosion. We plan to put some concrete underneath there and also to put some decomposed granite compacted so that we won't have that problem again. And then going back to that, this is another area where we're putting a little, we're filling the gap with concrete and putting decomposed granite in it. This is actually inside the Wizard's Tower. There's a little wall here next to the this is towards the west, towards the southwest, and that wall was never completely built. There's a new wall of doors that originally had been put up as a view shield when we had repairs happening to a different structure. People loved it, and it's kind of sitting there for waiting for us to take it back down. But what we do want to do is put a pipe next to that concrete wall to support it because it is leaning.
Mhm.
And then here is again back to that section where we're wanting to do the concrete work on the wall. This is the existing kind of combination of dirt and decomposed stair. And what we intend to do is to reclaim that area to go ahead and make it back into stairs and a little ramp. And we would like to put a railing there that can be removed. So we could remove it and be able to view it as it originally was in the 1920s, but we can also put it back up so that it preserves the safety. Because this is the one area that we are concerned about people's footing. And, we have had actors that are in this area fall because it's just deteriorated in a way that's kind of rough. And that was it. That's all of the repairs.
Okay, well, thank you. And I just wanted to start and say I appreciate sort of this detailed work plan and photography of the different areas. So you'll have that record when these repairs are made. So who would like to begin with questions? Let's pick
I
on
can start.
Savannah.
I
Yeah,
feel like I always want to. But,
using you. Go ahead.
no, it was lovely, Jenny. Thank you. This is really appreciate all the work that you're doing out there. I guess my one question, I think there was a detail at the beginning relative to the actual second story structure that had, and I had trouble opening it on the website too. So maybe Michael, we could talk about that. But I think it has to do with a through wall bolt and a plate. I guess I was curious if that plate on the outside, like what that would look like, or if it was on a prominent side. I couldn't quite tell.
I believe what you're looking at is on the ceiling of the first story of the Wizard's Tower. So it would be placed above. You wouldn't be able to see it when it was done, unless you climbed up into the second floor of the Wizard's Tower and looked down.
Okay. Do you mind going back to that sheet real quick?
Sure. And this is one I wish that Keegan was here because she knows better than I do about this particular one. So you're going to
keep going, yeah.
Yeah, that's the ceiling. This is the roof. Let's see if it's in one of these.
I think it's maybe on this sheet. Is there a top detail?
Okay. I believe that it's this is the steel plate right here where it's above where it says 8 inches. You're looking down at that steel plate. But let's go where you can actually
Wait, that one. That was
this one. Okay.
Yeah, existing beam and column, steel strap attached through existing concrete and wood column with 2 3/4 inch diameter through bolts, and it looks like a plate too. So I was curious with that, if that is the outside face of the wall, and if you'd see, is that just like one strap you'd see, or is that like every so many feet?
See if we can get it here. Not really. That's close. Okay, well, this is probably the best we're gonna get. This is the inside of the Wizard's Tower, and
Mm-hmm.
it's going to go across where that's where the two sections of existing metal is. And so we're going to be basically having the end of the angle iron or angle steel, I guess, go into this rock wall. So it won't be seen from the outside, and the plate will be adjacent to that. The concern was that this has two pieces of it, and the lacing of the wire here, we wouldn't want it to open up like and basically fall down someday. So I don't believe that that's going to be seen from the outside at all. It's going to be up above this this area, and the angle iron is going to be in here as well. I am, like I said, this is not my area. This is one that I really wish Keegan had, but we didn't get notice before Monday that we were going to have this meeting, so Keegan wasn't able to attend. She would be able to explain that much more brilliantly than I am.
That's a
But
shame. I'd like to say hi to her. It's been a while.
well, you'll have to come out sometime, you know. But anyways, my understanding is that it's really not going to be very visible. We're going to, and the thing that we will have some metal that will be visible, and we're wanting it to rust. We're going to let it do its thing and rust, and it hopefully will basically not be seen. But it won't be observable so much from the walls. But if you stand in the middle and look up, you may be able to see, to pick it out.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you.
I hope that answers it. That's
I think close enough. I mean, yeah, I was just curious if you would see it. I looked at the detail and thought maybe it would have an impact on the outside of something that wasn't there originally. So that was why I asked. So we're good.
yeah, no, it shouldn't. There's very little impact actually. For I think the casual visitor won't will look and see, boy, it looks cleaned up, and it will be returning more to the appearance of when it in the 1920s. But I don't think there's going to be any big. I don't think much is going to strike people except for that railing that'll be removed.
Okay. All right. Well, Savannah, do you have other questions, or should we move on? Okay, Joel or Andrew?
No, mine were answered. I was interested in the engineering of this. Yeah, I got to tell you, but because it looks a little rickety to me. But you say you did have an engineer involved in the plans. Is that correct?
That is correct. Stephen Hess. In fact, Stephen and John Luke were the two that were up in the second floor of the Wizard Tower together, um, exploring around there. And basically, it's sturdier than you'd think. The big concern is that if we end up having termite damage to some of the wooden poles the beams that we don't reinforce, that could be an issue. But it's actually sturdier than it looks. I was pleased to hear that. I'm a little concerned of the fact that water is getting in from the roof, and I don't
Yeah.
know how long that will maintain. But I was very pleased when they evaluated it. We thought that there was going to have to be more extensive work done. We were geared up for it, but the architecture company came up with a great plan that allowed us to preserve really all of the historic material.
Well, Valley of the Moon is a very groovy place. I used to go there a little bit in the mid '70s. Very cool. Let me I just have one clarification for you, maybe, Terry. This is just a historic, not just a, but it falls in the category of historic landmark. Is there an HPZ involved with Valley of the Moon?
No,
Are they part of a district?
it is
No.
not.
No.
And so
Okay.
basically, as Michael noted, we're reviewing for compatibility, but the crazy thing is there's nothing, I mean, you can't,
Done around.
yeah. And so I think that just the fact that it's compatibility maybe with the former design, I mean, and they've had to do a lot of sort of forensic looks at these buildings to see, what, and they really seem to understand them and how they were built. And I think that's a great record. So,
Good
that's
deal. All right. Thank you. That's kind of
Okay.
what I had. Thank you very much. Good
Okay,
job.
Andrew?
Yeah, no questions. This is crazy. So, good luck to everyone involved. I'm not sure how half of these details work, but I know that the team does for sure.
Yeah.
Jean-Luc was one of my teachers in school, and he's really brilliant with this kind of stuff. So I think you're in good hands. And like Terry said, just having all the documentation you have of what was there and the conditions is, I think, the most important thing. So good
Yeah,
luck.
and I really think that it's such a unique place. And what I like over the years working on a variety of restoration projects with structural engineers, I think we're very fortunate in the past 30 years to get structural engineers that understand historic buildings, instead of over engineering them, and so that it doesn't even it looks like a building encased in metal, in metal plates and straps and wires and things. So I think that this is, people are working together more, the engineers and the architects, to have more creative, less intrusive solutions. So I appreciate that. And we do have some interesting buildings here in Tucson. This being one, a group of them in structures. So, okay, are we ready for a motion then?
Terry, this is Joel. I'll make a motion.
Go for it, Joel.
Item 3B, I move approval of SD-0325-00034 2544 East Allen Road, Valley of the Moon, to approve as presented.
Great, thank you. And who'll second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Joel moves, Andrew seconds. Is there further discussion? Okay, if not, Terry votes aye. Savannah?
Hi.
Andrew?
Aye.
Joel?
Aye.
Great, it passes 4-0. And thank you, Jenny. Good luck with the project. And we should all go look again. I haven't been in years.
Absolutely. That was what I was going to say. Thank you for your consideration. And, it's been there 100 years. It's going to be there another 100, but you don't have to wait that long to come back out. Okay.
No,
Let
I
me
think
know if anybody wants to do a tour.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Mhm. All right, our next case is item 3C, which is SD 0924000098 at 222 South Fifth Avenue. It's a final review for the addition of a dog park, park lighting, colors, and pavement surfaces. It's a full review. It's a CIP project in the Armory Park Historic Preservation Zone. It's a contributing resource, and we use the rehabilitation standards. And we did receive the minutes from the Armory Park Historic Zone Advisory Board meeting of March 18th. So, Michael, do you have background, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. This Armory Park improvement has gone to Armory Park as a courtesy review, as a full review. It has also come to this subcommittee as a courtesy review, as a full review. It has gone to the landscape subcommittee of the Tucson-Pima County Historical Commission and gotten recommendations from them. Recently, they were at Amory Park Historical Advisory Board on March 18. They presented the same materials which you are having today to the advisory board, and I sent a copy of the legal action report to you. They voted 3-0 to recommend approval of the project as presented with the following conditions. One, that the color of the lighting be any shade of brown. And two, that the seat to be dark rock rather than smooth. And three, that there's need to add a memorial tree in the park, which the presenters agreed to that. Today, before you, I was made aware that they are here to ask for a couple of things from you specifically. They want you to consider the dog park with the bronze color fence, the site succession planting plan, the site hardscape, and the pavilion improvement and access, the infrastructure improvement that they will be proposing, the lighting enhancement and associated improvements, public restroom enhancement and improvement, and the irrigation and minor associated site improvement. So either Eric or Michael will be presenting to you, or both of them. Those are the things that they will be asking from you today. I just thought I'd put it out there.
Okay, so we have Michael Becker. Hello, Michael. And who is your colleague?
I'm Eric Barrett. I'm with Arts.
Eric.
Okay, thank you, Eric.
So,
And if you want, I'll start with an overall. I think we did a courtesy review. I'm thinking about 6 weeks ago, but
right,
maybe not. So
who's that?
So I'll start because I'll give kind of the overall context and just bring everyone up to speed if anyone was in attendance and where we are, and then we'll obviously can dive back into more questions if we need to.
Okay, go ahead.
And then Mike will go into specifics about the pavilion and some other components.
Go ahead, Eric.
All right, so hopefully I get the right drawing here. Anyone see my screen?
Yes, it's coming up. There we go.
Okay, great. So basically Armory Park is a historic park, originally built back in like 1901. We've met several times with Steve Greedy and Helen Erickson and many others about the park and what we need to do to bring it back to historical context, but also look to move forward overall. We are part of the bond process to do enhancements for this park, primarily provide new shade and restore shade, provide restroom enhancements. Provide seating was our primary criteria of what we need to do for the bond. With that, what we looked at doing is there's an existing restroom in this corner here. There was a proposed bond request to provide a separate exterior restroom, but after we found that there is existing restrooms here, we were looking to renovate those, provide more openings, make them more visible and more accessible to the general public, but also provide better security with that. So last item on a bond is more lighting and more security for that aspect. Next was the current park itself has a kind of a main plaza with some trees still in existence of it. I'm not showing the old stuff. Actually, I can probably go back to the old stuff. It shows really light. Sorry, that's not the greatest. Nope. Sorry. I'll skip that then for now. I need to go back to it. I can find it. So there's a plaza that's here, but it's mainly used as a parking lot. So one of the first things we talked about was let's get rid of the parking lot. Let's make the parking some other location. So we've identified this location as a possible parking alternative. Otherwise, what we're doing is restricting access. We're removing the road that exists here and kind of a gate and access that exists here where people are able to basically drive through the site with the gates not being opened. So this new concrete walkway, 10-foot wide, kind of restores that, limits access, limits the circulation in this aspect. Furthermore, we are looking to relocate the current stage, actually demo it, remove the awning that's there and reposition that to more of a central location with using the senior center as the backdrop and creating more of a central plaza space, which was originally intended from historical documentation. Next, we have the existing bocce and horseshoes and other type, not bocce, shuffleboard game activities here. We heard from the community and many of the residents in the area. And the second most important thing was a dog park in kind of more of a downtown location. So we're proposing to provide a dog park that could be completely removed if desirable, or no longer being a desired amenity of the park, so that it maintains the freedom of that, with the park being basically grass and a couple, secured access for smaller dogs and a larger dog, more of like a dog run or glorified dog run, just to allow the residents in the area to provide that access. And then last, the main thing we're looking at was a succession of tree plantings, restoring many existing trees. The circles with the dashes are existing trees, restoring ash along the perimeters, creating a much more solid defined north-south access with the pistache trees, some accent plantings, and providing ADA access for a couple of locations, and then redefining kind of the circulation and access along 13th Street. We are providing lighting. Whoops, going the wrong direction, I think. Getting there. Okay. Lighting wise, we have some historical lights and most of them are staying in place. We are relocating a couple of them. We are relocating these two lights closer to the new north-south walkway, just moving it over 68 feet. And then we have an historical light on the north side that we're relocating to the west about 12 feet. So again, we're not in ADA compliant scenarios in that aspect. We are providing new lights around the proposed dog park, and then we're also providing new lights along the walkway to provide secondary security lighting and safety for the overall users. And then last is an alternative to replace the lights on the building with new LED lights, just part of the overall project itself. I think I'm going to stop there unless there's any particular questions about our design intent and what we're trying to do from a historical standpoint.
Yeah, commissioners, does anyone have a question on this overall view from Eric? And no, okay. I did want to ask, Eric, you've gone through several courtesy reviews on this, and I just want to say that, that the process to maintain the historic layout of the park through the idea of a removable dog park and dog run, I think is a good one. And then the reinforcement of sort of the symmetry of the park by the plantings. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Anyone else have a question for Eric? If not, let's go on then with Michael's portion of the presentation. Michael,
I'll stop sharing.
Sure.
And I just can only say thank you enough to Michael to help us guiding direction from historical and the pavilion that we're proposing.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eric.
Yeah, Michael Takua.
Yes, hold on, Michael.
Yep. Yeah, you're fine.
You should be good now.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. We'll start with this one. I may have to do a couple of things. You should see the plan set right now.
Yes.
There's two architectural changes. I know we've reviewed this with you before. I want to talk about the restroom quickly. It has no real impact on the park. This is the existing plan of the restroom. there's a door, a gate with a couple of doors. The concern with the restroom is that it's, basically it's non-functional at this point because of the use that it's getting. What we've been asked to do is open it up. So we're proposing, keep in mind, this building is not a contributor. It was built well after the period of significance. So this is not a historic asset. But we're opening up 2 of the walls to put in roll down gates. The restroom will essentially be more of an open concept with 2 stalls and a common sink. So fundamentally it is, let's see, there we go. When you look at the exterior elevations of it, it's fundamentally just a larger opening in the wall on the north and the west elevation that will then, like I said, have a roll down grate that will close when they need to secure the building. So that is the restroom changes. The pavilion itself is basically in the center of the park. We did present this before, and I think and both from Armory Park and from the Landscape Subcommittee, we've received a recommendation for approval for this current concept. We did want to show a little more delineation in the actual plaza design. So the plaza itself is centered on the park. As all of you will remember, the park always had this sort of cruciform diagonal orientation. And then the construction of the Armory and then later the senior center has interrupted that. So we're using the new plaza space to reinforce the original cruciform geometry of the park, and then really accentuating what would be the conceptual center of the park. The darker gray areas would be a salt finish concrete, with the lighter areas, gray areas, being a smooth finish concrete. We do see often in the historic photos, the size of that central plaza changes and moves over time. And that was the idea about these salt finish bands, was to sort of acknowledge that plaza has changed over time, but still create that very simple cruciform center that reestablishes the center of what the historic park would have been. We've also oriented the pavilion itself to align with that. So the point of the pavilion is in the center of the park, and then it is to the east of it, between the existing senior center, which is what you're seeing. This kind of brown mass is that existing building, with a new ramp coming out of that. I'm sorry, not a ramp. It's a sloped sidewalk. There's a grade change from the senior center down to the park elevation. The pavilion itself is a steel structure. And this is showing the materials. It is as you can see in this drawing, it is, and we presented this before, it is on the diagonal to the park. So it's again accentuating the original cruciform geometry. And then it rises the low end is at the east end. It rises to the east to create a kind of open band shell pavilion facing west. We're doing that because that is the orientation of the park. We fully acknowledge that west is not the best orientation for a band shell or pavilion, but we believe that the succession planting that Eric has been presenting, and even the landscaping that is across the street of the Children's Museum, will help us to mitigate that sun as the sun sets in the evening. To go back to this drawing, some of the main things we did not have resolved last time we met was the color scheme and the materials. So this is showing just a flat elevation of the pavilion itself. We've decided to go with more of a dark bronze finish to the paint. So this is a tube steel structure with a painted finish on it. In the base of the structure where the columns sit, there are planters that you can, I'll go back to the plan in a second and show you. Those, we were proposing a smooth a ground finish block, very dark. For that, the original band shell that was in this location prior to the one that's there today had a lava rock, the black A-mountain rock base to it, with a concrete stage. The Armory Park was very interested in keeping that color and trying to use that lava rock. We simply cannot source that affordably. So Armory Park did ask us to use a split face block, which we're happy to do. So we will be using a split faced sort of dark gray CMU in a stacked bond with a matching mortar joint. What we want to see is a more consistent, we don't want to see a block construction. We want it to be much more, in terms of color, more uniform as a dark, rough surface that would have been there in the original band shell. Above that, we have a precast concrete seat wall. There's a concrete cast wall that comes up above that ends up forming the back wall, and basically they become tiers as the backdrop of the band shell or stage. So people could stand on this for performances. There's all sorts of things they could do. And then in between the columns, we have a grid of stainless steel cables that then will allow vines to grow up this and create, again, this sort of backdrop when you think about this as a stage itself. Moving over to this elevation, this is from the backside, so you can see the back. Now you can see the roof. We're proposing a diagonal or a diamond-shaped dark gray metal shingle on this, which is, while there's not a lot of the diamond-shaped shingles in Armory Park, there certainly are a lot of diamond-shaped shingles in buildings from that era. So we felt it was distinguishing enough that it could create a level of detail and articulation in the roof structure that would be complementary, but then also distinguish itself as clearly a new intervention, it being a metal shingle roof. And these are 12-inch diamond shaped metal shingles that would be on that roof. So then that's basically what they look like. There'll be a darker color than this. This is what we showed them in the last Armory Park the last time, and we did change that to say ground face block rather than the I'm sorry, this needs to be split face block is what that will actually be, and that's what Armory Park put in their motion. And then this is just showing the cast concrete finish, the precast concrete wall cap, and then the cable system for the trellis. It'd be similar to what we did at the Lot A garage at the Tucson Convention Center, except we will be adding some horizontal elements in this that will help the vines to more effectively climb the wall. The other issue that we didn't have fully resolved at the last meeting was the lighting for the pavilion. So this again is the high point of the roof. This is the low point of the roof. We're going to use a series of strip LED fixtures that look, sorry, it's jumping around, that look like this. They're more of a detention grade fixture because they could be touched by the public. So we want to make sure those are substantial fixtures that cannot be damaged. And then as the roof begins to ascend and it comes out of reach, because keep in mind the planter is right underneath these two sections. So someone could stand on that planter. These sections are not, these are not above the planter, so these are much higher, and we're using more of a directional fixture that we can aim a little more effectively and light the underside of that roof structure to help us light the pavilion with a more of an indirect glow of light that could happen in the center of the park. So the last slide here just simply shows a rendering of what this pavilion begins to look like in the center of the park. Like I said, it's a diamond shaped, or it's a square that's rotated in the park and then split down the center and then raised at one end. So the geometry of it's very simple, that aligns with the historic geometry of the park. From a lighting perspective, this is sort of from the air. This lighting isn't entirely accurate, but it's pretty close in terms of we want to light the underside of the roof so that that is a diffuse light that lights the pavilion itself. We want this lit at night so there is a sense of the center of the park that people can see if someone's there. From a security perspective, we want the police to be able to understand who's in the park, but we also want this to be very soft light that's not overpowering. So it is definitely sort of integrated into the center, into the heart of the park in that way. And then this is just a picture sort of from the backside. This is the entrance to the senior center. You're looking north in this image, so you can see the planter wall with a concrete step behind it, and then the stainless steel cables that come up from there. So I believe, Eric, unless I missed something, that's the extent of what we were talking about today.
Yeah, Matt, I will mention that because I forgot to mention it. The lights that we're proposing will be bronze or like a dark bronze color. Our fence will be a matching bronze color. I've been trying to find appropriate colors to meet that, but we'll match all that up together so we are staying uniform for fixtures and materials.
Well, Eric, I was seeing on the, let's see, in what you presented to Armory Park, you said fences would be carbonized wood black, or am I thinking of a different?
Well, nope, I had proposed black, and in meeting with them, became more desired opinion that the fence should be more matching, just a bronze color, more with the pavilion, and keep it all in context.
Yeah,
So
but
changing to a bronze color.
right, but they did not, that's not in their motion unless I'm seeing it wrong. I'm looking right at it. Color of lighting be any shade of brown and the seat to be dark rock rather than smooth. So the detail that Michael mentioned about the split
Split
face.
face block.
Yeah. It's not mentioned anywhere in these notes. So
What when they say color of lighting to be brown, do they mean the light fixture finish, not the color of the lighting, right?
The fixtures
Yes,
are
that's
all, yes, yeah, the fixtures are all
Okay.
bronze,
Because it's
sorry.
all, yeah.
All the
Okay.
lights are actually LED lights, so. So.
And then did it just get transcribed wrong for dark rock? I mean, did they mean split face CMU? Okay.
that's what was discussed in the meeting, is that rather than the ground face CMU, they would rather see a split face CMU in the dark gray color.
That's correct.
okay. All righty, who's next with questions?
I mean, I'll go. Great job,
Go ahead,
guys,
yeah.
and I appreciate being able to see it twice before this. So it's all.
Yeah, me too.
It's nice to see the evolution. I think a lot of great progress. The only thing that stood out to me, since the restrooms will be open, what is the finish of the wall? Is it tile? Is that CMU? Like, what do you see when you're looking in?
Yeah, those are it'd be painted CMU. And then
Oh,
the
okay.
partitions themselves would be painted steel.
Oh, okay. Any like just particular color or anything like that, or
No, I mean,
and
we
then
hadn't
make
really
it
discussed that yet. I think we can make it, match the, the color of the building, so it just sort of disappears as much as it can.
okay.
As the least intrusive as we can make it.
Well, okay. No, I think great evolution. I really appreciate all the development in the presentation. The last question I had was there was a memorial tree that the notes
sorry.
mention.
Yeah.
What is that about?
So Armory Park neighborhood requested that we provide a tree on the south side of the site. How do I explain this? The southwest corner of the site. One, there's very few existing trees in that area, and being kind of like a memorial tree for all the residents of the neighborhood.
For the what of the residents?
Of the neighborhood, yeah. So basically, yeah, it's going to be basic.
Down here somewhere, right?
Yeah.
It's just a single tree in this south
Correct.
lawn. That's what they're talking about.
It's probably going to be pistache. It's probably going to be a 24-inch box, maybe larger. They just asked for it, and they're going to provide the plaque to reference to that. Was their request.
Aren't you already putting a bunch of pistache along that edge?
We're the north-south tree is the pistache.
Yeah.
The east and north along the street, that was originally lined ash trees. So we are maintaining the east and west, I'm sorry, the south and west trees along the perimeter. Well, any replacement trees, those will be ash. The new north-south access walk will be pistache trees.
Right, okay. They didn't want one of those trees designated. They want one separated and kind of centralized.
That was a mistake I made. I thought it was just like we were just going to reference that one tree or the grouping of succession trees was that. And that was my misunderstanding from the neighborhood. So they want a specific tree. That's correct.
Okay.
Wow. Any other questions?
This
Not from me.
Joel, can I ask again, what were the three, I think I got two of them, the color of the lighting, Armory Park put on three conditions, kind of color of lighting to be bronze, smooth rock. Where was the smooth rock? The seat? Were we
It's
talking about the
It's the seat, it's the concrete block that's under the seat. So the seat itself is a precast cap. The concrete block underneath, we proposed as a ground face, which is a smooth, dark gray block.
Uh-huh.
They want to see it be a split face, so it's rough, like what you would see in the historic photograph of the original band shell, which had the lava, the A Mountain lava rock under it. So they've requested we change that to a split face block, which we're fine with.
But see, I don't see where they changed that, because it's not changed in the motion, so.
Okay, I had
Yeah.
not seen the legal action report, Terry, but that's what they said in the meeting, and that's what I remember the motion stating, is that the seat wall concrete block would be a dark split face block. So
Yeah,
I
it
don't know
says,
if there's
all it says for number 2 is the seat to be dark rock rather than smooth, which is a bad gloss, if that's, because the seat is different than the rock underneath the seat.
yeah,
So,
there's an issue with that, and I'm sure that Armory Park will clarify that. I
Yeah,
doubt they've actually approved those yet. I don't think they've had a meeting since we met with them.
no, you probably just recently received these, Michael, right?
Okay.
Michael Taku.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I
we
would
can
sort
ask
of-
for clarification, or I can go back and listen to the tape.
I would listen to the recording, or if you have a transcript, because that's, to me, it's not the same, and it makes total sense to me what the Michael and Eric team is. Look at Joel and his dog.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Gosh darn it. I apologize.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That's okay. Anyway, go ahead.
And then what was the third one? What I did.
Third one was the dog fence. We had originally proposed it to be that charcoal black color.
Uh-huh.
And in discussions with the Armory Park neighborhood, they requested it to be the bronze color and matching with the fixtures. And we have no
Okay, good.
objection to
And
that.
so my last not really question, is a comment. This looks great. I mean, great job. I really, really like what you've done here, especially that you've taken a lot of diverse suggestions and worked out a beautiful project. So I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joel. Andrew.
Yeah, on the CMU bench wall, is that are you gonna paint that, or is that like an integral color? Or okay.
Yes, it'll be integral color. Like I said,
Okay.
we'll match the mortar to the color of the block, so it really reads more as a monolithic, sort of rough masonry mass.
Okay. Is it like a dark gray?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm not a huge fan of split face at like human touch level, but if that's what they want. Yeah.
I don't disagree, but I understand why they asked for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, well, who would like to make a motion? Who's ready? I have a feeling it's either Andrew or Savannah.
I can make it. The only things we're gonna add, we're essentially just gonna echo the Armory Park one. But I think in your presentation, all the light fixtures are a dark bronze. So I don't think that even needs to be a condition. And then, so the only condition is that what do we call that? The seat stem wall or base wall? Okay.
Stem wall makes sense, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the seat stem wall would be a dark integral color split face CMU.
Block, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. I'm ready for it. Okay.
Go for it.
All right, on the matter of SD 0924000098 at 222 South Fifth Avenue, I move to recommend approval of the project as presented with the following condition: that the seat stem wall be an integral color split face CMU.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Savannah.
Okay, is there discussion? Okay, if not, I'll call roll. Terry votes aye. Savannah?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
Joel?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And Andrew, I know it's a simple motion, but if do you have it written down, you can email it to Michael and myself?
Yep, will do.
And then we'll just pop that right in. to the LIR. Okay, great. So the motion passes 4-0. Thanks for this good discussion of this project and good luck. It's been a long time
very much.
coming, right? Eric
Yeah.
and Michael?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for your time and your feedback. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
and everyone's
see you
patient.
soon. Thanks. Item 4 then is Task Force on Inclusivity Report Recommendations, 5A, or excuse me, it's listed incorrectly, Michael, as 5A, but it should be 4A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's discussion on best practices for naming of city and county owned physical assets. We're not going to move this in there till we, we will discuss it when we have fewer cases, which hopefully will be sometime before the decade's over. Yeah, so but it may not. But anyway, just to let Desiree know, this is a project we a subgroup of the commission did the task force on inclusivity, and we focused on the things that we could really do in making recommendations. So we learned, did a lot of research on how buildings were named in the city and the county. And we came up with, and then Plans Review took this on as an actionable item, and we worked on it for a while, and it just, I mean, it's nothing, it's a nice report, but it's not holding anything up. Does that make sense? So that's something that we can talk to you more about when, I mean, you have plenty on your plate now that's more time sensitive, and that's what we want to work with you on. So, but that's what this is, but we keep it on. And we actually had a second item on for a very lengthy period of time, but we just recently we finished discussion of that like a month or so ago. So, all right, so item 5 is current issues for information discussion. 5A is minor reviews. Michael, will you report on that, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. We did a couple of minor reviews last time, which I presented to you, and Andrew has been very nice in helping me to review some of these very quickly. Pending reviews that I have now, which Joe had indicated that he was willing to assist. I have a couple of them in West University, which is 515 East First Street for a roof, 848 North 3rd Avenue for a roof. We have a roof in Avery Park at 419 South 5th. And then we have 582 South Main for some gutter and landscaping. Andrew and Grace have already reviewed that. And then we have a solar panel in the barrio at 510 West 17. Again, Andrew and Grace have looked at this. So those are the pending minor reviews that I have now. And I'm going to take on this with Commissioner Ireland sometime next week. That's all I have for minor reviews, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. 5B is appeals.
We do not have any appeals pending or that we know of at this point in time.
Sorry, I just muted myself inadvertently. 5C zoning violations.
We continue to work on them, but there is one zoning violation case that should be coming to you at the next meeting, which should be at 907 North 5th Avenue, which will be a carport violation in West University. Other than that, we continue to work on these violations as they get reported.
Okay, and 5D is review process issues. Does anyone have an issue they would like to discuss?
Terry, this is Joel. I'm sorry. Michael, what was the address of the zoning violation again?
907.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
907 North.
North 5th Avenue.
got it. Thank you.
Sure. Anyone else for review process? Go ahead, Savannah.
Yeah, I couldn't review the materials for today. There's like a
Yeah,
Microsoft account sign in.
If
there
someone else,
was,
yeah,
I
Is
think
that
there was some technical issue with the website. Uh, we staff were able to see them, but I don't know what happened. It was probably the posting issue, but Dan jumped in and sent out the PDF of the materials on the chat.
so
So
you could
it was
download
not,
them from the chat. Yeah, because
oh,
Andrew, we all discussed that before, I think
I
while
must
you
have
were
been
off.
off. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
have that. That's
yeah.
okay.
So it's all in the chat. You should see it in your chat though, right? It's
I
from Dan
know because
Bursman.
it was from before I think it was while I was gone, so I don't.
yeah, it was
Oh,
why you were gone. Yes.
Yeah.
okay, Andrew, did you download those and could you send them to,
I was able to download 3A and 3B, and then 3C, the file was corrupt, so I could download but not open it.
that's Armory Park?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if, well,
So
Michael, be sure that you get that up there. I'm seeing it. Yeah, I can, if it's not too huge, Savannah, I might be able to
can you open the Armory Park one, Terry? Because I just couldn't, it shows up, I just can't. It gives me an error when I open it. But I can drop 3A and 3B in the chat if anybody wants them.
I mean, it's
Yeah, I
we've
know.
worked through them now, so I'm fine. I just wanted to voice the issue just so we could get
I'll
out ahead
talk
of it
with the,
next time.
I'll talk with our website team to find out what actually happened because this has not happened before. So
Yeah, the LAR I can get just
Mhm.
fine. It's just the other one. That's all.
I really apologize because every time I click on something, well, not every time, but I lost you. So I had to struggle around and find it. So you can hear me? Yeah.
We're
So
here.
let's see. So Savannah, that was your review process. Did you have anything, Andrew? You did
Oh,
mention the deconstruction versus demolition.
oh, yeah, I was thinking of something for, maybe that's an item for the full
The full
commission.
commission?
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'll
just,
be in touch. I did note your email and I will, it was something you listened to from the National Alliance of Preservation Commissions?
yeah, it was their seminar that we got a free registration to.
Yeah, very good.
But that was
Okay.
today, so we can talk about it later.
Okay, Michael, is there anything you want to bring up?
no, Madam Chair, we do not have anything.
Okay, Desiree, do you have any questions? Do you have a review process issue?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
Thank you.
Okay, sometimes we have lively review process issues. I think we're just tired today. I don't know. So, all right, thank you. Item 6 is summary of public comments. Were any received by the posted deadline?
No,
Michael?
Madam Chair.
Okay, and item 7 is future agenda items. Could you let us know what you have on the docket?
I do have two projects that are coming to you that are all from West University. I have the 907 North Fifth Avenue, which I mentioned as a zoning violation case. And then I have 921 North Second Avenue, which is the construction of an ADU, which is an accessory dwelling unit in West University. Both have gone to West University. They have reviewed and recommended for approval with conditions. And so their next step will be coming to PRS.
Okay, do you have any other cases that are in the lineup that we can move? Because apparently there's so many cases. Are they held up because they haven't had advisory board review yet?
Yeah, those cases they still have to go to advisory board before they come to you.
Is there any chance that in the next several weeks that would happen?
Yes,
Okay, so there could be a third case and you'll let me know.
there could be a third case. I will let you know.
Okay, but none of the revised guidelines will be ready by,
No, they are. one is ready, Fodlo is ready. I'm looking at that coming to you on the 27th. Not unless you want them to join these two cases, they can come on the 10th and then come again on the 27th.
And you've sent us those, haven't you?
I was trying to discuss that with you later on, but we can discuss it now. Since right now I have only two cases for the 10th. So if your preference, the photo design guidelines are ready to go. If you want us to start on the 10th and then the second section on the 27th, we can do that.
Why don't, if no one objects, send us the file so that we can review in advance. And remember, subcommittee members, we looked at this. The last time when we did West University, we looked at it and said we think it's ready to go, but we really want them to be sure they tell us are there major changes, because for me, Fort Lowell was the most Byzantine. They were trying to do things recently that were very different from what were in their guidelines. And I just want us to look at that before you prepare that agenda. Do you all agree with that? I mean, I think it could be too, I mean, we could get a start, but I think Fort Lowell needs to understand that we may not, that we have to keep other cases moving along too, unless we have a special meeting, and I'm not in favor of that in the next few weeks.
That is the reason why I was suggesting to Dan that we should put them on the 27th and make sure we send their proposal to you as early as next week, so you have all this time to take a look at it before it is actually agendized for the 27th.
Right, and remember, we had West University put comments in about what had changed or something like that, and I thought, did you all feel, subcommittee members, that the review went fairly smoothly for West University?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and Michael, you mean the 24th, right?
Oh, sorry. Let me look at my calendar here. Talking of April. Oh, yes. Yes, Savannah, you are right. That will be April 24th.
And then, the 10th is the next one that we talked to. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, if they're done and we take a look at them and see how close they are, I don't know why we couldn't start on the 10th. Is that what you're saying, Terry?
Yeah. But I think they need to know, whoever's presenting, that they will come last on the agenda and we will see how far we get.
Yeah.
And I think we didn't get burnout when we did it the other way, right? Like when we did West University.
No.
Like, 3 or 4.
I think Helen Hill was present when you were doing West University. I think she's definitely aware of how you review it, and I think that's a better approach.
And they need to be prepared to review each section and really be clear about what's changed and what's been clarified and so on. So, okay. All right. Who will be in attendance on the 10th? I'm thinking I am, but I'm afraid to click on anything.
I'm going the 10th and the 24th, for what it's worth.
You can attend both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same here.
How about you, Joel? 410 and 424?
Yes, both.
Okay, let's see, 410. What's that?
Okay.
Oh, guess what? It's already on my schedule. I can't. Ooh. Yeah, I will be there in case. Is that Easter weekend, one of those? Yeah.
So are we agreed that we should start West University on the 10th?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Fort Lowell.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll try to send the materials to you by next week.
Okay, well, I think this was pretty good, considering that we had, they're pretty full reviews. And anyway, Desiree, thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you more in the future. And thanks, Michael. And we'll just say that we are adjourned at 2:44, and Michael once you get the draft LAR, could you be sure to send me that with the link to the recording and the transcript, but not associated, without having to do the sign in to city?
Good try.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks so much, everyone. Take care, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you all.
Thanks. Bye, you too.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Terry, I have sent for your review the document that we talked about this morning.
Okay, hold on a second. I think something came in while we were meeting.
Yes,
I
think I sent one. Desiree also sent one to you. I think I sent like two. There was one that I sent that was from SharePoint. I didn't think that you'll be able to get that, but I did send the PDF and the Word Perfect for both Steve and Matt. And I believe I just saw that Desiree had done the same thing too.
All right, so I should be able to get these easily. I'm going to try to do it this afternoon, but I have, yes, I can. Oh, are you there? Yeah.
Yes, I'm here, Madam Chair.
Okay, sorry, I just clicked out of it. Yeah, I will try to look at that. I've got other stuff pending, but this is good. I'm glad. Thank you. So it worked out in the way we discussed.
It did.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
you might want to stop the recording because we're done with the meeting.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that part.
No, it's good though. You did, this is very